everyone, please help me in welcoming the Honorable George W. Bush.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Vivian, thank you very much. Whatever you said worked. These days I'm a happy artist, blissfully painting pets. I'm a pet portrait painter, flowers. I just put out a book on immigrants with several Koreans in the book. I'm a happy grandfather. My grandkids call me Jefe, the boss. And so it takes a pretty unique event to pull me away from my colors and brushes and the peacefulness of my studio. But the Korean Society dinner is such an event, and I'm proud to be here. And the reason it's such an event is because I feel strongly about fostering good relations between Korea and the United States. It's in our national interest to do so, and the Korea Society does just that. I want to thank Ambassador Kathleen Stevens for the invitation, but also for your service to our country. I want to thank Tom Byrne, the illustrious CEO of this organization. I want to thank the members of the board of directors, the funders, the people who support the good work of this society. I'm also here because I have deep affection for Van Fleet Award winner Roy Rue. I'm so pleased to be with Roy, his wife Helen, his son Royce, and Candace. I want to congratulate John Hamre. I don't know John all that well, but I will tell you during my time in the presidency, many of the national security staffers would say, Hamre says this. Hamre thinks that. I said, this dude must be smart. He does good work at CSIS and is well deserving of this award. I'm also pleased to have spent some time with Julie as well. Before I get into my talk about Roy, I do want to call out my friend Victor Cha, one of the smartest people there is in the United States on the subject of Korean policy. I am told that the head of Little League Baseball is here, Steve Keener. Now, what's unusual about that is that Korea and the United States share a deep love of baseball. And my hope, Keener, is that the Korean Little League team comes over here one of these days and shows their merits in playing baseball. I also want to give a shout out to Kenny G. I understand he's here. There's nothing better than a Korean Society dinner with Kenny G. My friendship with Roy and Helen date back to, I probably started at a lunch in Kennebunkport, Maine on a porch with my mother and dad. I bet we had lobster. At any rate, from that point on, we developed a firm friendship. Just like the friendship Roy had with old 41, my good dad. During my presidency, I did spend a lot of time in Korea and benefited from those travels, but when you're the president, you don't get to see much. You see the Blue House, you see a hotel room, and that's about it. In the post-presidency, I traveled throughout Korea with Roy a lot. I call it Travels with Roy. I saw the beauty of Korea. something I really didn't get to see, hanging out in Seoul the whole time. I went to the countryside a lot with Roy. Roy Rue is a golf nut. He's a pretty damn good golf player, too. He and I played numerous courses in Korea with a variety of Korean citizens. Every event was fun. Roy told me, he said, you know, I'm going to bring the President's Cup to Korea. I said, the hell you are. He said, no, I'm going to organize it and take it to Incheon, Korea. And sure enough, he did. I flew over with some friends. It was one of the most remarkable sporting events I've ever been to. Well organized, well done. Roy Rue gets a lot of credit for putting Korea golf on the map during that week. As a matter of fact, he and I are going down to Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow to see the President's Cup down there. He's one of the most generous people I know. I don't know if you were here a while ago, you got to hear Joseph Kim speak. Joseph Kim's a North Korean escapee. He's in my book on immigrants, by the way. As a matter of fact, he's the first immigrant in the book. The reason I put him in there is because I want my fellow citizens to understand how fortunate we are to have citizens like Joseph Kim in our midst. This guy was, his dad died when he was young. His mother goes to China to sell his sister in order that she can survive. She gets caught coming back in the country and dies in a North Korean death camp. Age 14, Joseph Kim's on his own with nothing. No family, no job, nothing. He becomes a thief. He works odd jobs. He scrambles to live. He decides he's going to go find his little sister. He escapes across the border with China, but he had no money to bribe like a lot of people do. Just sheer courage. He's wandering the countryside, looking for his sister, totally alone, living in haystacks of Chinese farmers. I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a lot of courageous folks who provide an underground ministry right across the Korean border in China. And Roy stumbles on such a person, but he doesn't understand religion. There's only one religion in North Korea, and that is to love the vaunted leader. This person was there to love a neighbor like she'd like to be loved herself and help Joseph. Joseph ends up in a consul office in China where he befriends the Marine Corps. Marine Corps convinced him to go to America, which he does. He ends up getting a scholarship from the Bush Center, primarily funded by Roy Rue. Joseph Kim now spends his Thanksgivings with the Rue family. Roy Rue and his family are incredibly compassionate people. Not only do they care about the human condition, when they find somebody hurting or suffering, they're willing to surround them with love. One of the most amazing events of my time in the post-presidency when Roy convinced me that I should go with Billy Kim to the 50th anniversary of the armistice of the Korean War. It was in a soccer stadium in Seoul, packed full of Christians. I sat there and reflecting upon a couple of things. One, I only wish Harry Truman could have seen what I saw. Harry Truman had great faith in the Korean people's ability to self-govern and eventually realize the blessings of a free society. But as you historians may remember, he left office as an unpopular president because of the Korean War. I thought about those who fought in the Korean War on both sides of the battle. I wish they could have seen what I saw. Thousands of people able to congregate freely, express their religion without the state clamping down on them. As I sat there, I thought about those people in the audience, what their life would have been like had not there been sacrifices on both sides of the conflict in order to provide them a chance to worship the way they wanted to worship. And then I thought about my fellow citizens. Can they conceivably realize the importance of a free and democratic Korea in their life? Our citizens need to understand that a free Korea is a great trading partner of the United States. We have mutually beneficial trade ties that enhance wealth on both sides of the ocean. Our citizens must understand that a free Korea is an important part of the strategic piece to keep peace in the Far East. And so I come today to the Korea Society to not only reminisce about my travels with Roy and to thank my buddy and congratulate my buddy on the Van Fleet Award. Frankly, it's not all that hard to win it, Roy. I did. But I do want to thank you all very much. Relationships require nurturing and work and listening, and the Korea Society just that, just that. Have a wonderful evening. God bless Korea and the United States. Thank you, Victor.